Happy Thursday. It's design reveal day. So today it's week 12 design reveal. We are going to make a wrap bracelet. So we're just going to make a simple one. Not making one of those complicated ones that we would love to make, but you know, we only have so much time. Hope you all had a great week. Can't complain about mine. It's been nice and warm here. I know that's not the case for everybody. And I haven't had to go anywhere. So, you know, certainly, you know, dealing with spring break crowds and those kind of things hasn't been an issue. Matter of fact, our schools just came back from spring break. Anyways, let's see. I don't really have any announcements. We'll be on time. We'll be at our usual time on Sunday for our week 13 drawing and some special project. I'll probably do something, you know, spring related. I don't know about Easter because we just did Easter. We'll see. You know, it's always a surprise, right? I don't think there's any other updates right now. So let's dive in and look and see what we're working with today. All right. So let me zoom in here and get the camera centered. Try to stay on camera. I always try. I'm not always successful. It's just a reminder what our draw was. Oops. And we are going to make a wrap bracelet. Okay. So, you know, in my mind, a wrap bracelet is just one that has to go around at least twice, right? So it can be as simple or as complicated as you want. So we are supposed to use copper, beads, or metal in our design. So I'm doing some of that in a couple of ways. One is I'm using this Butterscotch Imperial Topaz Soft Flex, which is kind of a coppery tone, right? I've got some copper spacer beads here, and I have a copper clasp. We're just going to use a toggle today. All right. Then we're supposed to use fish or starfish in our design. So let's see, my copper, well, I'll be using copper crimp beads too. All right, so I pulled out some fish and starfish. They're kind of like goldish, coppery. So we're using both. Now we also had to use chunky beads, 10 millimeter or larger. And you know what? My fish and starfish, I don't know why I'm clicking today, are going to also count as my chunky beads, okay? And then we have to design something inspired by a sunrise or sunset. So that was part of my choice of colors here, that and the copper, but I think these, you know, with the gold tones, copper tones, little orange in there, works great for the sunrise sunset. And also going to use this strand of beads that's it's technically pink aventurine, but if you'll notice, it's a very orangey peach. To me, it's more sunsetty and more orangey than peach. And then I have a second Tailorine. I have a second strand of, again, pink, which pinks would work too, but it's not very pink. This is also aventurine, so it's not ombre like that one, but it's got all those shades in there. So that's what we are going to use to design our bracelet today. So one of the things to think about when you're making a wrap bracelet, how many wraps do you want to do? So a lot of, you know, one thing to consider, you could do 2 wraps, so that would be about a 14-inch bracelet. 3 wraps, if you do like 21 inches, it can also work as a necklace. I don't know about you, but a 14-inch necklace is way too small for me. It feels way too tight, but it'd be fine for a young person. So anyways, let's see what we're working here today. Okay, so let's move this stuff out of the way, and let's get, I just decided to use a simple toggle today just because well, it was copper, it was easily handy, and I actually think it'll work fine for this design. Hey, Janelda. So we're getting ready to design our wrap bracelet here. So before I cut this one, I do have to make a decision on whether I want to make it ombre. So there's a couple different points in here. And this is a 15-inch strand, so, you know, I could do 2 loops with just that. By adding these other spacers, you know, we could certainly get to a 3-loop design. So what do you guys think? Would ombre be fun, or do we want to just sort of do something random here? So, and then we're going to intermix these fishies. Okay, so I have 2 different styles of fish here. So these 2 have holes long drilled, so the holes go from the tail to the mouth. And then I have one here, which actually has, there we go, something on it, which is drilled through the center, so he's swimming the opposite way. Okay, so if I line up the holes, they're like this. Okay, so I don't necessarily have to use all of them. I was thinking this one could be in the center or something, you know, we can space those guys out. So that's the other thing, is do I want all these in the center of my bracelet? Or do I want them spread throughout? And you know what I am going to do? We are going to actually do our design, showing you how to design if you, or string, starting in the center, okay? So I actually think I'm going to do a triple wrap. Originally I wasn't going to, which does mean we're going to be using almost all these beads. So I need at least 2 feet here, okay? You like the ombre? Okay. So if I'm thinking I need a 21-inch bracelet, 1.5 inches extra on each hand, I'm going to do an extra 2 inches there. All right. So we're going to start with like 20. What did I say? 26 inches. And then I am going to figure out how we're going to mix in these rondelles. Let's pull some of those off. And then if we're going to stick with the ombre, I am going to have to cut both ends of this, all right? Because we are stringing from the middle, remember? So try using, yeah, let me see how many colors I have. So if we divide it like there, there, definitely here. Not really sure where this one divides. Maybe there. These are pretty close together, but that's okay. But yeah, that could certainly work. So 1, 2, 3. Although I really need like what, 6, right? So you know what? I didn't think about that. I probably should have actually cut. Oh, cut this in the middle. These are all seem to be about the same shade, quite honestly. I am going to cut my string there because, so I've got 2 colors here. So again, we're starting in the middle. So I think actually my, I am going to put this fish, since he's the oddball, in the middle. All right, so just want to show you, see, that's how he hangs on there. And then maybe I'll put a spacer on both sides of him. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. So I can put, I don't know how, if I want to put spacers. I'm going to put 3 of these on both sides and then we'll look at it. Oh no. Sometimes, Lorraine, you got to turn it off and turn it back on. I have to do that before I start broadcasting so that you don't get as many delays. All right. So there's our start. So we'll just keep, I think I'm gonna, yeah, all right. Now, you know, by doing this way, I gotta be careful that I don't drop my, I know you guys can't see what I'm doing because my string is long and I'm off. So, all right, I'm going to show you though. All right, so we had our first color in the middle with our little fishy there. So now I'm going to put my starfish on there. Now I'm going to show you what I did here in a moment here. All right, so I put the starfish so that the point, the hole goes through the point and then between two of the starfish legs. So I wanted them to go out from the center. All right. So they're both pointing towards the center. And this will matter because when I put my fish in there, I'm going to need to make sure it goes the right direction, right? I'm going to go ahead and put, I'm kind of doing a pattern here, so I'm going to go ahead and put 6 beads at least here. 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we're going the other direction. Now, you know what? I haven't put it in any of my rondelles. But maybe I won't need them. But I might. So I've got 6 beads between these 6 beads, and right now we are only at 10 inches. Why does it feel like I have less here than I thought I did? You guys saw me measure out the cord, right? Yeah, double check here what I got. Yes. Yep, over. We should be good, hopefully. All right, so I think at this point I am going to put the fish on. So I have to decide whether my fish should swim towards the center or away from the center. What do you guys think? Should my fish be swimming towards the center of the bracelet or towards the outside? One swimming in and one swimming out. Well, I could do that. All right, I'll make him swim out. I need a lot of things in the holes of my beads today here. And him swimming in. So, see, they are going in opposite directions there. What do you guys think of this color scheme? Does it work? Copper and all that. All right, let's put some more beads on here. Oops. beads go in the other direction. All right. See, the problem with an ombre strand is you have to either keep stuff on the strand, and starting from the middle was a little different, but you know, sometimes you have to end up pulling all your beads off if you have to fix something. All right, let's look at what. See how long we have there. So that would be 16 inches. So oh, that's a lot of humidity. Did you know that? It actually started feeling a little more humid here yesterday, but we're not supposed to get any rain either. All right, so since I don't have more fish, I am just going to put a copper spacer in here. Or maybe, so I do need some other light colored beads. So let's see if we can find something that sort of matches that shade on this strand here. We're going to pull them all off. All right, so mostly I've been putting 6 here. So I could add 2, but since they're thinner, maybe I'll add 3 and add them in between these beads. So 2. All right. Now, I'm getting close enough. I am going to use a bead stopper just so I don't start knocking beads off this other end, okay? Now this one, because those rondelles are all light colored, we're gonna stick with sticking these other beads on here. We will have used our whole strand. So the question is that enough? So it's at 20 inches. So you assume it adds an inch with the clasp, right? So I think because I don't have any more dark beads and we did the ombre, I am going to put that side clasp on, and then if we need to add something, we'll add it on the other side. And I do not need all of those crimp beads out here. So Oh, I don't know if you guys noticed though, that bracelet from Sunday that I was having so much trouble with. Look, I'm wearing it. I can get it on, and I didn't restring it. I just, but it, yeah, I don't know why it was giving me so much trouble the other day. It was a rough run. All right, so I'm putting on the crimp, and then I put on one side of the clasp. Doesn't really matter which one. Oh, no worries, Lorraine. Have a good day. All right, it's ravioli time. So we've got our crimp. We've got our little divot there. We're putting our crimp in the center, and we're squeezing. Ravioli, turn it sideways. Squeeze again. Look how nicely that's cooperating with me today. All right, so we have our nice little beaded crimp there. All right, now we're gonna let gravity help us out here a little bit, huh? I'm going to push those out of the way so that I don't send them flying all over my desk space. Whenever I clean up, I always find random beads that went flying. All right, why are you? All right, there we go. Now I am making sure that my beads go through the holes. Both strings go through the holes. Just wait till I get to the other side. Yeah, it may not cooperate, huh? All right, there we got. Whoop, and see if you don't pay attention, that tail sneaks out. When you're not looking. All right, so tail is all tucked in there. I'm gonna hold those beads down until get everything down there. All right, so let me, before I put the other side on, I want to make sure that this is doable for a triple wrap, because it looks like actually I think it's gonna be just right for my wrist. Now I may add one more light bead here. Just to give it a little space, okay? Now, the other option would be to make the loop where I'm attaching it bigger, but, all right, so, anyways, we've got our crimp on. We've got that there. Putting the other side of our clasp on. And I'm going to go ahead and stick this down a couple of beads at least, so we can, again, check the sizing. All right. Because it's harder to undo it once you've crimped, right? So, you know, there's definitely some room in here, but I think that's pretty good. All right. Now I could have used a nice ornamental clasp, but I just thought this simple one that's, you know, about the same size as the beads was all I wanted. I want the clasp to be, you know, the center of my, or the feature in this particular case. Now, sometimes we do want that because we draw the card that says we have to do that, right? So yes, now, Janelle, you're right. It's going to fight with me. So I'm making sure that end is still in. I'm pushing all these beads down. And we're tightening that loop. And pushing them down. Now, you know, since this is a wrap, I do need a little movement in here. So I think we're ready here. As I say that, and it pulls. Why I'm having so much trouble with this week. Oh well. All right, I think that's good enough. All right, ravioli time again. There's a little bit of room in there, but I think it'll be okay. So, all right, ravioli. Turn sideways. All right. Woo-hoo. And we're gonna trim that. Yeah, gotta be careful not to trim the wrong strand there. These out of the way. That out of the way. You always have trouble. All right, I don't feel so bad then. All right, so there's our. Now see, it's really tight at this other end. Now you know you certainly could have used more spacers. Obviously, I used minimal spacers, but you know I kind of liked it being consistent. Now you know it's only this last part that's not, but I think you know unless somebody's really looking close, they're probably not going to notice that we put different beads in there. All right, so let's put it on and see what it looks like. I get too many bracelets on my one arm, so we are gonna do it over here. Which is always a challenge as to whether, even though I'm right-handed, I'm always putting jewelry on my left arms, or my right arm. All right, so we've got our sorted fishies. You do line up in kind of odd places, but you can move it around. But we got a little ombre going here. I think that's fun. All right. So we did it. We made a wrap bracelet. So goes around 3 times, right? We used copper beads and a clasp, right? Chunky beads are fish or bigger than 10 millimeters. Never too many. And we used fish and starfish, so we had that. And our color selection was inspired by a sunrise or sunset by having these various shades of orange. And around here, so if we have white clouds in the sky, which today we have no clouds in the sky, you know, when the sun goes down, they turn orange or pink, depending on, you know, how much water's on them. So I think we made it. And that was less hassle than this one the other day. So anyways, I got my bunnies out from, I'm pretty sure we made these bunnies last year. So I had a little tiny, like 6mm rondelles that were the same as those big, the big balls, big rounds that I used. So I remembered I had something, but we made a little one with little bunnies. So hopefully everybody has their bunnies out and ready for the Easter. Easter's in a couple weeks. Janelle, I haven't looked today. Did your package finally make it? I don't know why the post office, I know yours took sort of a detour, but I think it finally got there. I had ordered some stuff myself from someplace else, and it was being shipped from Mesa, Arizona, which is like an hour and a half from here, right? My package went all the way to North Carolina, and it's somewhere on its way back now. So, I'm thinking it got like stuck in the wrong bin, right? So anyways, I haven't double checked, but I thought you were getting your package. So so hopefully you'll get your bunnies. So Sunday we'll be back noon Pacific time. I'm still working behind the scenes on some stuff for you all. I will show you this guy because I really like him, but I haven't figured out how to make him not have a lot of wire. But this is my baby quail, which is why he doesn't have tail feathers, because they really don't. They're just these little fluff balls with their little things sticking out of their nose. But I'm still trying to finalize that design a little bit because I think it's got too much wire showing. But all right, Janelle, I'll check on it again. I think it was headed. I think it was definitely headed back your way. As long as they still show tracking for it, I'm good. It's so. All right, so I guess no other announcements. Like I said, I'm working behind the scenes on a couple new kits and some cards, which I need to double check the pricing on printing the cards these days, especially since they have to be mailed and the mail prices are going up because the price of oil is going up. So hopefully all that won't end up happening, but there is a lot of talk about the post office is going to be adding surcharges due to the price of oil. So yay, we get to raise shipping again. So sorry in advance. But anyways, yes, there will be new stuff coming. And I will be showing you some stuff. And I might have, I'm working on some stuff locally here. I'm trying to get somebody to carry some of my figurines and maybe my cards locally. And so I'll give you guys updates on that if it turns out. We shall see. But anyways, thanks always. I hope you Have a great weekend. I will see you on Sunday for week 13. We will make our drawing, and we'll make something springy or something. Springy or Eastery, we'll see. And then we'll be back Thursday to make whatever it is. All right. As always, appreciate your support. Thanks always for liking and following Desert Cat Creations on Facebook, Instagram, and subscribing to us on YouTube. All the videos are on YouTube if you want to go back and watch something. And if you have any troubles finding something, feel free to message me. It's, you know, not everything from the last 2 years went over there, but hopefully all the favorites went over there. So, all right. So I will see you on Sunday. Have a great weekend.